Hey, what is up, guys? This time, it's gonna finally work. I'm gonna finally get this video up. This is my WrestleMania 30 review. My tablet's busted, so I haven't been able to make the review. I'm gonna finally make the review, and then I'll make my Raw review tomorrow. Haven't watched Raw yet, so I don't really know what's happened. Um, so WrestleMania 30, I don't really know what to think of it right now. It just hasn't really sunk in what I think about it. I think I kind of know what to think about it, but I'll get to that at the end of this review. So you got the pre-show, and you got Josh Matthews, Mick Foley, um, Booker T, and Shawn Michaels on the panel in the beginning, but then people would take over their spots. Booker T did the panel the whole time, but then people would take over for Mick Foley, like Sean Merriman from the NFL, which I thought was cool. That one's kind of strange. Jimmy Hart and Trish Stratus all took Booker T's role, and then at the end, Alex Riley took over Shawn Michaels' role. So I thought this was fine. I was hoping Shawn Michaels would play more of a role on the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, though, since he is Mr. WrestleMania. We got Hugh Jackman as the social ambassador. He was in the Wolverine 2. He made that little robot fighting movie. Not that anybody cares, but he was the social ambassador. And the commentators for the whole night were JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the King Lawler. So on the pre-show, the Wyatt family were backstage, and they were talking about how Bray Wyatt had like a friend when he was a kid, and he would he needed to be saved. He was on fire, and the guy reached out for him, his hand, and he just watched him burn. And Bray Wyatt said that if he's willing to do that for like one of his friends, imagine what he will do to John Cena. So I thought this was a very good promo. And then Paul Heyman got interviewed, and he just talks about how Brock Lesnar is going to break the streak. Alex Riley, before he came on the panel, interviews some fans, and they just talk about what it's like to be at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan interview, he says he's going to beat Triple H tonight. It's his destiny. He's been screwed over too many times, and he has to do it now. And he's not just fighting for himself; he's fighting for the fans and any WWE superstar that was told that they were too small. And then the Shield are backstage, and they talked about how Kane and the New Age Outlaws which is the Road Dogg Jesse James and the badass Billy Gunn, outsmarted them a few weeks ago, and that's not going to happen again. That they are going to reign supreme. So then we got the pre-show match. We have Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Real Americans, which is Jack Swagger and Cesaro, with Zeb Coulter ringside. Ryback and Curtis Axel and the Lost Matadors, which is which is Diego and Fernando, also known as Primo and Epico, with El Torito inside, and this was an elimination tag team match. Great match. The Lost Matadors were really on fire in the beginning. They dove and took out everybody. And then Curtis Axel took out both Lost Matadors, and he tried to dive on him himself, but El Torito stopped him. And then the Lost Matadors and El Torito hit a double team move on Curtis Axel, and that takes out everybody again. And then eventually Jack Swagger does an arm drag to one of the Lost Matadors and gets him in the ankle lock, and that Lost Matador member taps out for the win. So the Lost Matadors get out. So then it's down to Ryback and Curtis Axel, the Real Americans, and the Usos. Ryback and Curtis Axel dominate the Usos for a while, and then one of them gets the hot tag, and starts going off on, I think Cesaro, and he starts just taking him out. And then Ryback tags himself in, and he goes to Miha clothesline Cesaro, but he counters into an uppercut and hits the neutralizer on Ryback, and that eliminates Ryback and Curtis Axel. So I thought it was cool that Cesaro got the satisfaction of beating Ryback, because anytime they had a match in the past, it was when Cesaro was the United States champion and Ryback was in his big babyface monster mode. So I'm glad he finally got to beat him, because Ryback would job him out all the time, but now Cesaro has the satisfaction to say that he finally pinned Ryback. So then now it's down to the Real Americans and the Usos. They brawl for a while. The Usos dive on the Real Americans. Cesaro does the swing to one of the Usos. Eventually, though, the Usos double kicks his Swagger in the head, and then they take out. They both hit a double splash on Cesaro and cover him and get the victory. So then we retain the tag team championships, which I thought was fine. I knew that was going to happen since they just got the championships. And then afterwards, Jack Swagger and Cesaro are arguing, and he puts Cesaro in the ankle lock, and then Zeb Coulter says, "Stop it! Take his hand and help him up." And then he does that, and then Cesaro just ends up swinging Jack Swagger, and that was pretty much what needed to be done. What happened happened. Um, so I thought that was good stuff right there. So I think the Real Americans are definitely split up because later on you're going to see Cesaro. This isn't the last you see of Cesaro. But not even on the actual show. The commentators are the same as the pre-show. The WrestleMania 30 video package, I thought this was very well done. It really showed the all the build up to the feuds, like the John Cena Bray Wyatt feud, the Undertaker Brock Lesnar feud, the Daniel Bryan Triple H feud, which includes the WWE World Heavyweight Championship feud. So I thought they really did a good job with that. And then I get Hulk Hogan promo. He comes out and talks about how he's in at WrestleMania, and he messes up where they are. He didn't say that they were in the Superdome, that they were in like Gillette Stadium, I think. I forget where he said they were, but I don't think it was Gillette Stadium. But he said they were. He messed up on the stadium that they were in, which was actually pretty funny. And he says that all the Hulkamaniacs are gonna have a. This is gonna be a very memorable WrestleMania, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, which we knew he'd be there. He says, if you want me to kick Hulk Hogan's ass, give me a hell yeah. And he doesn't do it because Hulk Hogan was big in the 80s. So then we get The Rock, and he comes out. I was not expecting The Rock to come out. I'm going to admit that. I wasn't thinking that The Rock was going to be at WrestleMania at all. I knew he wasn't going to wrestle, but I didn't think he was going to be at WrestleMania at all because I thought he'd be busy with this movie. But he did come out. He said his catchphrase, talked about how he's in the ring right now with one of his longtime friends and one of his childhood heroes. And then eventually they all say the catchphrase, like Hulk Hogan says, "So what you gonna do when WrestleMania, when Hulk Hogan runs wild on you?" And Stone Cold Steve Austin says, "And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so." And I think The Rock says, "If you somehow," what The Rock is cooking. And then they all drink beers and leave. This was a great segment, though. I really like to see all the guys kind of from that was stars in the Attitude Era, because if you think about it, Stone Cold Steve Austin actually was the Attitude Era. He's like the face of the Attitude Era. And The Rock, he was big in the Attitude Era. And Hulk Hogan was in WCW and the NWO when the Attitude Era was going on. So I really like this stuff. And then I also liked how I know Hulk Hogan was also big in the 80s. So I thought it was really good to see all these guys come together. I think this is the first time that they have come together, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. And then we get Triple H with Stephanie McMahon versus Daniel Bryan, and the winner gets into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later on in the night. Triple H had his King of Kings entrance. He came out though as the game theme song. I thought that kind of didn't really fit the entrance. He should have come out to the King of Kings theme song. And then Triple H. So yeah, they had it started out really good. They started out Daniel Bryan and Triple H did some chain wrestling, and then eventually Daniel Bryan does a DDT from the apron onto the floor to Triple H, which was sick. And then he does a flip off the top rope onto Triple H, but Triple H kind of catches himself and throws Bryan into the barricade. But I thought that was good stuff. Eventually, Triple H starts to work over the arm of Daniel Bryan, and then immediately tries to pedigree Bryan to the table, which we knew was going to counter. Bryan starts throwing fists at Triple H, but then he slams Bryan's arm into the announce table and starts working on Bryan's shoulder. Well, it was like his arm shoulder, because he injured it when Triple H beat him down a couple weeks ago. And then he really worked over the arm. One of the things I can recall was when he did the back suplex with his arm behind with Bryan's arm behind his back onto the apron, which must have killed. and then Triple H would kind of cut Bryan off anytime he tried to get some offense going. If he tried to do the headbutt, Triple H would get a knee up, and then he would put him in like a crossface of his own. Then Bryan reversed it into the yes lock of his own, but Triple H grabbed the ropes. And then Daniel Bryan started to do his drop kicks in the corner. He usually does like a ton of them, but he was only able to do one. When he went to do more, Triple H gave him a wicked clothesline, and Bryan spun around. I like the way when people sell the clothesline like that. It makes the clothesline look devastating when you just spin around. I thought that was sick. And then Triple H, then Bryan starts to get his offense going. He does his yes kicks to Triple H. He's going off on him. Does 2 suicide dives to him. It was just sick. And then he goes for the flying knee. Triple H counters into a spine buster, hits a pedigree, and we think that's done. Triple H is going to go on and be in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. But no, Bryan kicks out of it, which probably shocked everyone. It didn't really shock me because I knew he wasn't going to kick out. So then Triple H starts beating the crap out of Bryan, and then he goes for like a power slam, and then Bryan counters into the flying knee and gets the win. I thought that was great. Daniel Bryan finally beats Triple H. Maybe this will finally prove to Triple H that he is an A-plus player. I kind of want to see what Triple H's reaction is going to be on, well, what was on Raw. If he was just like silent, and what his reactions are going to be when Michael Cole interviews him. If he's just going to go off on him. So I just kind of wonder what his reaction is going to be. And then afterwards, Stephanie McMahon gets in the ring, and she just starts slapping the crap out of Daniel Bryan, kind of like what she did to Big Show before she fired him, which was sick. And then eventually Triple H ambushes Bryan from behind, and he grabs a chair and hits it off Bryan, sort of off to the steel post like he did to his head a few weeks ago, and that leads people questioning whether or not Daniel Bryan can compete in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later. I thought it made people were kind of pissed that this match opened the show, but I thought it made sense because the winner is going to get into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Obviously, you would want a lot of time to rest up, so if it opens the show, Bryan's going to have a lot of time to rest up before the actual part of the match. So I like the fact that it opened the show. And then we got the next match. We got the New Age Outlaws and Kane versus the Shield, being Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. This was just nothing match. It really meant nothing. It was just kind of like a squash. It was just a way to get all the Shield's moves in the match. One thing I did like about this match is when the Shield did a double triple powerbomb to the New Age Outlaws. That was cool, but it was just a nothing match. It was just they just squashed the Shield and Kane. I didn't really like that. I thought this match could have been a way better match for the Shield, because the Shield usually 6-man tag matches steal the show, and they could have given them like a few, could have given them a long match, not even, it could have been like a 8-minute match, but they didn't do that, so I didn't really like that. And then the Legends are playing with the toys backstage. You saw Sergeant Slaughter, I think you saw Pat Patterson, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ricky Steamboat. I didn't really care for the segment, but it was cool to see the Legends again. I thought it was fine. And then we get the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This match was kind of weird. Well, this match was good. This ended up being a 31-man Battle Royal, because it says it on Wikipedia that it was a 31-man, but I could be wrong. It could be the way Wikipedia is. So I'm just gonna go over the eliminations, because it was just kind of like a standard Battle Royal. Everybody got out, but once it gets down to the six superstars, I will cover what goes on. And if there's something that sticks out to me, I will cover that. So Yoshitatsu was the first one eliminated by the Great Khali. That doesn't surprise me. Yoshitatsu sucks. Brad Maddox was eliminated by Cody Rhodes and the Great Khali. I thought all the superstars would gain up on Brad Maddox and try to get him out first, but I guess that didn't happen. Brodus Clay was eliminated by the Great Khali. The Great Khali was eliminated by 3MB, which is Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal. Zack Ryder was eliminated by Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. Darren Young was eliminated by 3MB. Mark Henry just eliminates 3MB. It just eliminates all members. He eliminates McIntyre and Mahal first, then Heath Slater. And then Big Show eliminates Mark Henry and Titus O'Neil. Santino Marella eliminates The Miz, which I didn't really like, because he got eliminated by the Cobra. I kind of didn't really like that they had Miz get eliminated that way. I wish Santino could have just like got lucky and eliminated him, but he eliminated him by the Cobra. I didn't really like that. I think Miz is too good to take the Cobra. Yeah, they've been booking him like crap lately, but I didn't think this means that they're booking him extremely like crap because was the main event of the WrestleMania 27, and he's taking the Cobra, so I didn't really like that. Um, so Santino Marella got eliminated by Alberto Del Rio. Xavier Woods got eliminated by Damian Sandow. Damian Sandow got eliminated by Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Um, Big E, which is the Intercontinental Championship, the Intercontinental Champion, eliminated Justin Gabriel and David Otunga. And then Big E gets eliminated by Fandango. And then Fandango starts celebrating, starts dancing around ringside, and Sheamus sees this going on. So Sheamus grabs Fandango and starts clubbing him. He's just clubbing the crap out of him. He doesn't even do a 10 count. He just keeps doing it until it wears down Fandango. And then Fandango because Sheamus just like pushes Fandango out and he gets out. I thought that was like very smart by Sheamus to do that. It was very cool. I actually did like that. Um, Big Show eliminates R-Truth. Alberto Del Rio eliminates Sin Cara, Tyson Kidd, Goldust, and Cody Rhodes. So now it's down to Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, Big Show, and Cesaro. I did say that this wasn't the last you saw of Cesaro. Rey Mysterio goes to jump on Cesaro, but he counters into an uppercut, which eliminates Rey Mysterio. So now we're down. So then we're down to Kofi. Now we're down to Kofi, Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, Big Show, and Cesaro. 1/6 thing that happened in this match is Cesaro went to eliminate Kofi Kingston over the top rope, but he falls, but his feet don't touch the floor. They're on the steps, which I thought was cool. Another innovative Royal Rumble moment for Kofi Kingston. But then he gets eliminated by Sheamus by a blow kick, and then Alberto Del Rio gets Sheamus into the cross arm breaker, and then Sheamus picks up Del Rio, and he just kind of goes over the top rope and he runs, and they both get eliminated by this. So I thought that was cool. And now it's down to Big Show and Cesaro. Both you think there's no Cesaro doesn't stand a chance of winning now. There's no way Cesaro's gonna win this match. And he's going off on Big Show, but Big Show's power is just too much for Cesaro. And then eventually Cesaro picks up Big Show and body slams him out of the match. I thought this was awesome. This really made Cesaro right here. This really is going to, I think, go down in the history books as a WrestleMania moment. It kind of did remind me of Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, even though there's never going to be another moment like that. But it kind of reminded me of that because he slammed him the same way Hulk Hogan did, and Big Show was wearing the same like strap shoe that Andre the Giant wore. So it kind of did remind me. And then Cesaro celebrates. So I don't really know what happens with the Real Americans. I think Cesaro's going to work as a face now because he shook Big Show's hand after the match was over. So I really don't know. So I'm going to tune into Raw and see what happened. So now let's get to the next match. And I don't know if this is going to be a yearly tradition thing. I wouldn't mind if this was a yearly tradition thing, but I just wouldn't mind that. So we'll see. And then we got the 2014 Royal Rumble the 2014 Hall of Fame. This doesn't happen next, but I'm just gonna say it. Eventually, all the Hall of Fame inductees came out and all talked, and Ultimate Warrior got his own entrance, of course. Then we got Bray Wyatt with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus John Cena. This match wasn't like the greatest match ever, but this match was mainly about psychology. I thought Bray Wyatt did very good psychology in this match. One thing I liked about this match is when the beginning, like Bray Wyatt wanted to bring out this inner monster in John Cena. That's kind of what the whole match is based around. He wanted John Cena to finish him off before the match, right when the match started. And John Cena just doesn't do it. So then John Cena starts out wrestling Bray Wyatt. And then they just had a fight. Bray Wyatt just fights John Cena and fights him. And one of the parts too is John Cena goes to the 5-knuckle shuffle, and Bray Wyatt's doing that exorcism walk, so that kind of creeps out John Cena. And then John Cena goes for his leg drop and he dives on Harper and Rowan, which was sick. And then Bray Wyatt takes up Cena on the outside. He grabs the steps and he's gonna like hit the steps like kind of like what he did to Kane at SummerSlam. But of course he fails at doing that. And then John Cena's thinking about using the steps himself, but he doesn't do it. And eventually one of the things is Bray Wyatt threw John Cena outside the ring, and Harper was kind of like looking at him kind of strange, and Cena tackled Luke Harper through the timekeepers area, which was sick. And then eventually Bray Wyatt couldn't hit the Sister Abigail on him. He tried so many times. So then he grabs a chair and hands it to Cena, and he wants it to use it. He wants John Cena to finish him off. He doesn't do it though. He hits Rowan instead, and then Bray Wyatt goes with his Sister Abigail. John Cena powers out of it and hits the FU for the win, and then that was about it. And John Cena celebrates afterwards. He's all shocked that he won. I wasn't shocked that he won, of course. I did pick him to win. I did root for Bray Wyatt, but I knew the WWE would give it to John Cena. And I'm not really gonna trash it because this is just like typical WWE. They never have John Cena put the young talent over. He's been coming out for weeks and saying that the young talent needs to get through him, and I think Bray Wyatt should have gotten through John Cena. Then he would have gotten into John Cena's head a lot more. Would have made the storyline better, but they didn't do it. And I think you should have. Yeah, so they didn't do it. So I really was kind of pissed about that. And then we get the next match, which was the best thing, I think, the moment of the night. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. I was kind of wondering why this wasn't like a no-holds-barred match or something. So that kind of surprised me, but I guess it didn't really need to be a no-holds-barred match. The match was actually pretty decent. Undertaker starts at first just beating the crap out of Lesnar, bouncing his head off the steps, just fisting away at him. Hits the snake eyes on him, big boot, normal stuff. And then Undertaker misses that boot in the corner, which I never understand why he always goes for that move. I think I've said this before. He always goes for that boot in the corner, and he misses every time. So why does he continue to go for that move? I never really get that. I know it's scripted, but still, like, why would he go for that move if you're gonna know you're gonna miss every single time? So then that kind of injures his leg. So Brock Lesnar hangs his leg up on the ropes. He beats it down the post, on the post, and he chop blocks him on the outside, throws him into the barricade, and really starts to work over Undertaker. He ends up hitting the F5 on Undertaker. He kicks out of it. Undertaker hits a choke slam, kicks out, and then he starts going off. It's DDTs, snake eyes, DDT, flying clothesline, leg drop, all that stuff, splashes in the corner. And then Undertaker, I think Lesnar, and then Lesnar is taking out Undertaker. I forget how. And then Undertaker gets the Hell's Gate on Lesnar twice, and he powers Undertaker over kind of like a power bomb and throws him down, not once but twice. And then he gets Undertaker in the Kimura lock. Undertaker counters that into his own version of the Kimura lock. So I thought that was really well done. And then Undertaker tombstones Brock Lesnar. Not like a good tombstone, like he didn't have him all the way over here. He kind of had him like right here. If you can picture that, you think you've seen him do it before. Brock Lesnar kicks out of it. Even my friends was over. His dad even said that wasn't even a good tombstone. So you obviously knew he wasn't going to kick out of it. So, and then Undertaker goes for a second two. Well, actually, before that, Undertaker had gone for an old school, and Lesnar caught him into an F5, and Undertaker kicked out of that. And then Undertaker went for a tombstone again, and then Lesnar counters. He thinks he's gonna do a tombstone, but then he gets him in the F5. He hits the F5, and he goes to cover him. You think, oh, he's kicking out of this. There's no way Brock Lesnar is gonna Undertaker's gonna lose it right here, and he lost. Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. I'm in shock. I was in shock. I'm still kind of am in shock about this. Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. He's 21-1. I thought they would let him. They're gonna have him retire with the streak. I thought he would go on until 25-0, but no. Brock Lesnar lost, and the whole arena was shocked. Some guy had his eyes bulged out because he was so shocked, and they didn't even play his music. Like, they played the music right afterwards. They didn't play his music right afterwards. Everything was silent. And I thought that was good stuff. And then they definitely ended up playing his music. And then the announcers didn't even say it right away. And everyone was in shock. I was in shock. Um, I just thought this was very shocking stuff. Um, Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. I never thought he would lose. I always would say, "Oh, I'm gonna rage if Undertaker ever loses at Mania," but I didn't ever think it would happen. I was just in shock. Um, I'm shocked that they gave it to Brock Lesnar to a part timer. I figured they would give it to a guy like John Cena, Daniel Bryan, maybe even Bray Wyatt, but or maybe like Kane since he's his brother. Um, but no, Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar here, and now Undertaker never has beat Brock Lesnar, and this was probably the most significant loss. And I just kind of wondered too, what are they going to do for next year's WrestleMania now? That was the match that always sold WrestleMania. Um, that was the match that always drew me into WrestleMania. Once WrestleMania came, I knew Undertaker was coming back, and I think this was his last match. Because once he was done, all the fans started clapping, the commentators clapped, and there's no way that he's gonna come back. What would be the purpose? He's not. Now that he's lost, I think he's done. I think my friend thinks he's gonna go into the Hall of Fame. Will be the first guy to go in, and I can see that happening. And I just think it sucks that he lost at WrestleMania, though. It's just, I don't think it sucks. I mean, the streak, I guess, has to come to an end, but I wasn't expecting it to come 21-1. So, well, Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. I did not think this would happen, especially since Lesnar laid him out on Raw last Monday. I'm just in shock. I'm still actually in shock just talking about it. So this was probably like the biggest thing that happened on WrestleMania ever, I think. This was like one of the biggest things. Then we got Vicky Guerrero's invitation for the Divas Championship. It's all the Divas on the roster that's in this match. I didn't really care because I was still in. Yeah, you would think too that they would make the that last match. I'm gonna take a losing his streak. You would think they would make it the last match on the show, but they didn't do that. They definitely shouldn't have followed it up with this match because the fans didn't care about it. Everybody was still in shock about this. So I really think that they should have not have followed up this match with that. So I don't really know. I didn't really know what was going on. I was just in shock. Eventually, AJ Lee gets the see. I don't even the Black Widow in on Naomi, and she kind of like makes Naomi tap out. She didn't tap out, but she puts her arm down 3 times and she taps out. So um, and then Hulk Hogan gets interviewed, and then it kind of leads to like all the guys that were on the first main event of WrestleMania, like Mr. T, Roddy Piper, and Paul Orndorff, who looks old as crap now, coming up, and they had like a big competition. Pat Patterson was there, so so I liked that. I actually did like that. And then we got Randy Orton defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Batista and Daniel Bryan. I thought this match was very well done. I thought they utilized Daniel Bryan really well in this match. They didn't really utilize him at first because they just kind of took him out right away. And then Orton Batista fought. Batista went for the Batista bomb on Randy Orton, and then he countered into a backdrop on the steps, back suplex on the barricade. Daniel Bryan drop kicked the ball. He would sometimes come out of nowhere. Eventually, Bryan's on the verge of winning. He has Randy Orton in the yes lock, and then Triple H kind of like takes out the referee, and he comes out, and he sends out Scott Armstrong to have him lose. Batista hit the Batista bomb of Bryan. He kicked out of it, and then Daniel Bryan dives on Scott Armstrong, on the Authority and Scott Armstrong, and then Triple H grabs the sledgehammer, but Bryan gets it somehow and hits Triple H off the head with the sledgehammer. And then Batista and Randy Orton start working together to take Bryan out. They form into the barricade, and then Batista hit the Batista bomb, and then into like an RK, and then Randy Orton did like the RKO right when Bryan came down to the announcer's table, which was sick. So then this kind of led Batista easy pickings because Randy Orton got weak too. So I wonder if Batista like planned this out, and then he just starts beating the crap out of Orton. Bryan's being stretched out, but then he doesn't want to be stretched out. So I think Randy Orton threw him into the steps because Orton did the DDT off the apron onto the floor, and then he goes to pump Bryan. Bryan counters, and then eventually Bryan hits the flying knee on Orton, and then he hits it on Batista, and he makes Batista tap out to the yes lock. And Daniel Bryan becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He had some blonde chick in the ring with a daughter, with a little girl too, which I thought was weird. But I thought the show ended off really well with Daniel Bryan finally becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I hope he still is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because I don't want the WWE to screw us over again. They give Daniel Bryan his legit run and let him run with the championship. I hope they do that. So as for WrestleMania this year, I'm gonna say it was a very good show. Um, you had a shocking moment in there. I thought they shocked the. I thought that they shocked the fans. I am pissed that the Undertaker did lose at WrestleMania, and I am shocked. But it is what it is, I guess.
Can I use the laptop now?
Hold on, please. I'm almost done. So I thought it was very well done. That they had that shocking moment, and you ended off on a good moment with Daniel Bryan doing the yes chant. The Triple H Daniel Bryan match was good. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal had like a guy like Cesaro when it was sick. The tag team title match I thought was good, and I deleted all my notes. So the Shield and Kane match wasn't that good. I don't really remember what else was on the show. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I think that was about it. But I really liked this show, and that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll be back tomorrow to do my Raw review. Peace out.